Hey there, welcome to the Agents of Revival podcast. If you're ready to be healed and take full accountability of your life by evolving into your best self, then this is the podcast for you. I am your host, Andrea Griffin Rogers, and I'll share with you winning steps as well as personal tips and anecdotes on how to go from brokenness to wholeness and from scattered pieces to inner peace. So come on in and join me on this healing journey, and let's become whole together. Enjoy it! Hey, welcome back. Hey, welcome back. How y'all doing today? I hope all is well in your life, in your soul, in your mind. I hope you're feeling good today, because I know I am. And if you're not feeling good, then may I submit for your consideration that you check in at this very moment with that little girl or boy inside of you. You know, that little inner version of you that you've been neglecting for a while because you've been growing in it for a while. You've been adulting it for a while. Yeah, I know. You so busy. You got so much on your agenda. I get it, baby. Trust me. I get it, okay? But we gotta take time to stop and take care of us first. Because if we don't take care of us, who gonna do it? Not to mention, if we don't take care of us, we're not gonna be no good for nobody else. So sorry, you're not gonna be good for that party you trying to go to. You're not gonna be good for that event you trying to make. You're not gonna be good for that significant other or that spouse you're trying to make time for. You're not gonna be good for your homegirl or your homeboy you trying to hang out with. You're not gonna be good for nobody. You're not even going to be good to get together with the family. You can't help out in the kitchen. You can't go out back and help out with the barbecue. Like you're not any good. When we are at our lowest operating system, we don't function at our optimized self. You guys hear me teach a lot about battery life. It is time to take stock in your own battery life, because when you take time to recharge and regroup every single day, not once a year or twice a year when you go on vacation, I'm talking about living a balanced life where you are recharged every single day. So that way, whatever you face that day, whether it's something at work, something if you have children with the kids, something at their school, something at your school if you're a student, whatever it is, you are able to face it with a clear, level head, with clear vision, because you've taken time to regroup and recharge and take care of you. So let this be a wake-up call today, baby. Take care of you, okay? Because understand, I talked about this before and I'm going to talk about it again. What is not transformed becomes transferred. And today we talking about transform, no transfer, because we ain't about the life no more, okay? It is time to divorce the life where you continue to transfer things and attitudes and temperaments and conditional states onto people that did not cut you. But we gonna stop bleeding on people, okay? It is time to bandage yourself and take care of your wounds. We all got wounds. We all have those areas in our life where there's something we need to work on. It could be something that's deep internally because you have experienced some trauma in your life and you have never taken the time to heal from it or address it. It could be, on the surface as far as a recent breakup. And that could be for your friendship breaking up, or it could be a relationship breaking up. It could even be something that you're grieving in terms of a job loss or an opportunity that didn't come through. And so you are upset about it, but you're taking it out on the wrong people. And I don't mean that we should go take it out on the people who caused it. No, I mean that we deal with it in ourselves, because one thing that I've learned and I've been teaching on this entire season is that you cannot expect you from other people. So you got to learn how to let go of expectations and offenses quickly. Learn how to adapt in your environments that you're in, because people will be people. That means that they will be flawed specimens, flawed specks, who will do things to you or say things to you, whether they mean it or not. Because sometimes some people are in their own train of thought. They dealing with their own pain and they're transferring something onto you. And though it's not right, you got to understand, as I talked about before in season 2 of the podcast, Agents of Revival, it's not personal, it's spiritual. And so sometimes, excuse me, when you are taking something that somebody transferred onto you, baby, you got to be a mirror and bounce that back to them. Excuse me. And what do I mean by that? I mean that it's not for you to give them the same nasty attitude. It is for you to choose to be a, I guess, sort of like a mirror that's an inanimate object that can't move. And one thing that you see with mirrors is that it's an object that's just there. Whatever illuminates on it is what shines back. So if it's a person's reflection, that's what shines back. But if you shine light on it, light shines back. And so instead, when that negative person comes and they start to project what's going on with them or transfer what's going on with them to you, be that mirror of light to flash right back your light on them and keep it moving. Don't let them infiltrate you. You never see a mirror take in and absorb whatever is reflected onto it. No, it reflects. It literally bounces whatever is on it back off. And so you got to be the same thing in the same way in your life to be able to bounce back off whatever somebody's given to you, and vice versa. You got to be the one today to say, you know what? Times is changing, and it's time for me to put my grown woman or my grown boy drawers on. Okay. And it's time for me to transform. Okay. I'm tired of staying in this stuck, old, busted, and disgusted mentality, attitude, state of mind. I'm ready to transform. I'm ready to get my Optimus Prime on. You hear me? Okay. Speaking of that movie, I think about, I think this was the one with what about to call him, Keanu Reeves. What is that boy's name? Shia LaBeouf. I was gonna get it, baby. I was gonna get it. All right, Shia LaBeouf. It is one with him. I think it's the first one with him, and I think the lady's name is Megan Fox. And she says something about Bumblebee's exterior of how, like, ew, like if he's supposed to be this, magnificent robot car, like why he don't transform into something more than this just dusty old thing. And so Optimus Prime, I mean not Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, getting the names mixed up, but y'all just flow with me. Bumblebee gets upset and basically like kicks them out the car and then goes and then scans a newer model for a makeover. And then everybody's like shocked, like, whoa, look at Bumblebee. Okay, Bumblebee. Yeah, you gotta be like Bumblebee, baby. You gotta be ready to sting. You gotta be able to transform. Transform out the old rust bucket that you've been in. I know that life done beat you down. I know things have been hard. I know that your vision has seemed a little bit blurry. Maybe, like I said, a relationship kind of knocked the wind out of you for a minute. And so you just kind of got to regroup. But let this be your wake up call to transform, baby. Don't stay stuck in that place. You don't have to. You have been embodied with power, unlike any other. Now, no, I'm not talking about alien power. I'm talking about that supernatural, God-fearing power and authority that he has given you in the earth to transform. You do not have to stay stuck in a rust bucket anymore. Just like Bumblebee did in the movie. If you missed the movie, go check it out. It's an old movie, but it's a classic. Just like Bumblebee did, you got to be able to transform. Go scan what you need to scan, aka the Bible, and then also maybe scan yourself into some counseling. I use practical exams for spiritual principles, but you may need to go to counseling and take care of what you need to take care of so that you can transform. You may need to maybe write some stuff down. I know that was one of the things that helped me was being able to write down a lot of what I was going through and dealing with. Because once I got it out my head, it's almost like venting, just like it is a counseling to somebody. You're able to get the toxicity out of you so that clean air can flow through you. But as long as you backed up with whatever is bugging you, you cannot transform into who you have to become. God got better for you. Hear ye, hear me. God has better for you. Do not think that because for some of you, the last 2 months may not have gone the way you thought 2024 was going to go, or whatever year you listen to this. And so you may feel like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Let's just throw the whole year away. Let's throw the whole month away. Let's throw the rest of the time of my life away. No, you may just be in a season right now, but it doesn't mean that rain is going to be forever. There will be sunshine once again in your life. You will see better days. I know, because I went through a tough, trying season in time where I thought I would never get out of that. I thought I would always just be stuck in that rut. And then you know what happened to me? Sitting, I'm telling y'all, I went and I transformed. That means I did the work that I needed to do to change. I didn't continue to project or transfer what was bothering me on the people, even some of the people that caused the problem. Like, me continuing to project that onto them was not changing their heart posture, because we don't have the power to change anybody's heart. And so you got to choose to just do what you can do for you. And what you can do for you is to heal, to mature, to grow up, and to take the lessons that you just learned and apply it in a healthy way. Don't take the lessons you learn from whatever has hurt you or upset you or disappointed you and build a tough exterior that basically is a wall of offense. You don't want that, but you do want to create healthy boundaries that will benefit you as well as others that come into your life. And I've shared with you guys time and time again different healthy boundaries that I have. One of which, another healthy boundary that I have is if I know that I'm not having a good moment, I won't say a good day, because I don't buy into that. I choose how my day is going to go. I don't care what storm I face. I have control over my emotions. So if I'm having a bad moment, then I articulate that to some people. Like, meaning whoever is in my vicinity, in my area. And I say to them, like, you know what? I'm just not having a good moment right now. Or could you just please give me a minute? Like, give me a minute. Let me process whatever I need to process, and I can get back to you. I just need a minute. Please. Or could you just leave me alone for a second? Like, I'm articulating to them my immediate need so that I can tend to me to then be able to show up better, so that I am not projecting my bad attitude onto them. And a lot of times people will respect you for that. People will respect you to say, okay. Now, some people may have some extra comments to say, but baby, you can't worry about what they got to say or what they're going to say about you or talk about you. Let them talk. I have been learning in my life these lessons, because there are times where I want to be my own vindicator. I ain't going to lie to y'all. I want to be able to tell somebody how wrong they are about what they said about me. But I realize that is exerting too much energy. Okay. It's like that time I told y'all when I was on the treadmill trying to talk to somebody when I first started working on the treadmill and I almost fell trying to talk to them. It's taking too much of my focus away from what I need to be doing. So I realized that, like, sometimes you just got to let people talk. Let them say what they're going to say. And you don't take that inward, because a lot of times we'll listen to what somebody say or overhear somebody's negativity about us, and then we'll start reflecting on ourselves like, ooh, something must be wrong with me. No. Don't let them transform who you are by their transference. No, you bounce that right back off to them and recognize that that's their heart posture. Just because it's their heart posture doesn't mean it's your truth. Then that's not to say that there aren't times where somebody could say something to us that actually is truthful and we need to work on it. And so then if it's something that's truthful that you need to work on, then work on it. I could tell you a prime example. For me, years ago, before I started my healing journey, people used to always say I complained a lot. And I didn't think I did until I started my healing journey. And then I realized, especially after hearing other people complain, like, oh, wow, I really did used to complain a lot. And that's annoying. And I want to get this disclaimer really quickly, because I feel like a lot of people use this word out of context. People think complaining means venting. So a lot of times people need to vent what they're going through to get clarity. That means clarity in their mind, as well as possibly clear directions from somebody else or even from God of like what decisions they should make to better their lives. And they'll think that that's complaining. No, complaining is like nagging about something, especially when it's something that you know you can control, or if it's not in your control, just let it go. But venting is about releasing the negative emotions, feelings, and thoughts you are embracing right now in order to receive something positive into you. And so I just wanted to get a disclaimer really quickly. So back then, I used to complain a lot, and I recognized that, wow, okay, I did used to complain. I've gotten a lot better at that because I realized how annoying that actually is to hear somebody complain all the time. And so I've gotten better with that. I chose to transform and not continue to transfer those negative complaints onto others because complaining doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help me to get it out. It doesn't help that person to feel better about themselves. It doesn't help that person to fix whatever the problem is they're complaining about. It doesn't help resolve anything. Solutions resolve problems, not complaining. And part of the solution, again, may be that you may need to vent what you're going through to somebody to help get your vision clear because your vision may be so clouded with all your problems. And God did not create us to just be by ourselves in a box, like, oh, I'm going to just take care of it myself and just do everything myself and just be about myself. No, because that's when you get in your own head. And that's the perfect time where the enemy wants to try and attack you because he's got you isolated. And so as long as he got you isolated, he can attack you. Don't isolate yourself. Now, understand there is a season and time where God will seclude you for a moment to purify something out of you. As I talked about before with the photograph, the old school photograph, it used to have to go to a dark room to be processed. And then once it was finished its process, then it will be given from the developer to the customer. But it had to go through a process first where it was separated from that customer in order to be developed. And so you may have to go through a time where you are becoming transformed out of the box you were once in into something more beautiful. When you think of a photograph, when you give, now part of this is old school. So when you used to give, let's say, for example, take your film to Walmart or CVS or something. Sometimes you would have a camera that was already in a box, and then other times you would have just the film. But either way, they were able to take whatever format you gave them and transition it from what you first gave them or transform it from what you first gave them into something else that then became photos for you to hold in your hand and be able to, look through and even put into picture frames and stuff. But it had to go through a process. And I know that in the world we live in today, where everything is microwave society, everything is pop in the air fryer, done in a few minutes, and it's it. Like, people don't like that word process because process means time. It takes time to transform. You do not transform overnight. I'm sorry. Anybody that tells you they transformed in a week, they lying. They are lying till they blue in the face, okay? Because you don't transform that fast. Actually, biblically speaking, an entire season in God's eyes, according to the Hebrew Bible, is 7. 7 is the number of completion. And that's normally 7 years. And so how you transform in a week or in a day, all of a sudden you just completely different? No. That doesn't happen. The last time we seen it happen, and even then there was a process, was in the Bible in the book of Acts, chapter 8 through 9, when Saul became Paul on the road to Damascus. And it literally was like he had an encounter with God, and then like that, suddenly just something clicked in the spirit, and he suddenly changed. But even then, it still was a process before he went out into ministry to start ministering the gospel to other people. So he still went through a process as well. And even when he went out, he didn't transfer what he was going through. I mean, if you go read the Bible and you read about Paul, and many people talk a lot about Paul, but when you read Paul's story, you see he went through a lot. He went through a lot of transformation in order to become the apostle and disciple that Jesus needed him to be in order to spread the gospel to the Gentiles. It wasn't just overnight. Now, in the process, Paul, through all his letters that he wrote in the New Testament, he He could have easily transferred his anger and frustration and rage. And though there were times where he spoke about the pain he was in, he always followed it up like David with joy, with a word of encouragement, with hope. He'll say, hey, I might be in a prison, but do not weep for me. Pray for me. Thank God that the word is going out. I'm still doing the Lord's work in this prison. And so that's the word out there for somebody. You may feel like whether you are physically in a prison cell right now, or you may feel like you're in an emotional or spiritual or mental prison. Know that you don't have to stay stuck there, because Christ came to give us freedom. And so who the Son sets free is free indeed. And if you are truly a disciple, a follower of Jesus Christ, if he really is your Lord and Savior, then that means you have access to that freedom. So transform into the beautiful butterfly that you are meant to be. Even if you can't physically move yourself or remove yourself from the location that you're in, it doesn't mean that your mind has to stay stuck in a box. You can transform. You can be free. I remember watching a video a few years ago that blessed my spirit. And it also helped me because I felt like, because of what I was taught, that freedom was about where you can move to. Like freedom was a location that when you're there, then you'll be free. Peace and balance was a location that I was always taught. And so when you get to those places, then you'll experience these things. And one thing that God taught me in my healing process is, you don't have to be anywhere to experience my freedom. You don't have to be anywhere to experience my peace and my rest. You can, in my balance, you could be exactly where you are. It's just about embracing a different way of life. And the biggest thing, part of it, is being content. Yeah. A lot of times people have a hard time with being content. You don't know how to just appreciate what you do have. And social media doesn't make it any better, because you're scrolling and seeing people's highlight reels of what they want you to see. And so you think, my golly, wow, their lives are so much better than mine. Oh, wow, their children look so much more put together than mine. You don't know how many pictures they took to get their kids to look like that in their photo. And you're comparing your situation, your reality, to their highlight reel, to the doctored up image that they wanted to project. No. Let's stop doing that. That's why this entire time I've been teaching you about dealing with yourself, healing yourself, transforming yourself, elevating within yourself, discovering who you are, and knowing and loving you better. Because when you are at a healed, complete, whole place, perfect peace, needing nothing, part of that needing nothing is you don't need to compare yourself to anybody else, because you have become content and at peace, happy with where you are. And even if you're not exactly where you want to be, you still know that you're progressing. Because I'm gonna be honest, I may not be right now exactly where I desire to be, where I've dreamt of being, but I know that I'm moving towards it. And since I know I'm moving towards the mark because I'm working on it every single day, I don't have to be discouraged. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't moments of disappointment, of it's not happening as fast as I thought it would. Of course, I'm human. We all go through that. But I've learned how to channel that and speak the right truth in me that counteracts that negativity. Basically, I've learned how to transform those negative thoughts and opinions that makes me feel like I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve in the timeline I wanted to achieve it, to say, you know what? No, but you're progressing. You're moving forward. God knows the plans he has for you. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future. God said that he would cause everything to work together for the good of you who love him, are called according to his purpose. And so I just continue to remind myself, even if it doesn't look like what I want it to look like, I still remind myself, don't allow the waiting stage to transfer or transform your heart posture in a wrong way. Keep it going the right way. Keep believing in what you're praying for, because you know what's on the horizon. And so you got to do the same. You cannot sit here and keep allowing negative thoughts and opinions of others to keep plaguing your mind. Nobody has a heaven and hell to put you in. And who cares if they try to tarnish your name or even bruise your body? They cannot steal your soul. Therefore, they cannot really have a say so in your destiny. All they can do is push you into it. Because even those that seem like they're coming against you, they are really just transforming you into who you're always meant to be. So that's how you take it and you transform it. Don't receive the transference of their negativity and their negative thoughts and opinions about you. I feel like there's somebody out there right now who you're experiencing some issues at your job and people want to try to talk bad about you and they wanted to try to keep you out of a promotion or a job opportunity on assignment that you really wanted, and you feel like, oh well, these negative talks are getting to the boss, and you think that it's going to stop you from where God has in store for you. No, hear ye, hear me. They cannot stop what God says is yours. Or rather, they cannot take what God says is yours, and they cannot stop any door that God opens, because he tells us in Revelation 3 verse 7 that Jesus has the keys of David, and that no door that he opens can any man close. And whatever door that he closes, no man can open. And so understand that if a door closes that you wanted, then that means it wasn't God's best for you. And so again, transform it. Don't transfer that negativity. Transform the way you see it. Transform your perspective. And realize, okay, you know what? This didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. But I'm going to look at it in a positive way. I'm going to view this as, God, that must not have been the door for me. That must not have been the right opportunity for me. And even though it may seem like the boss may be believing the negativity that's spoken about you, be a fruit inspector is what I'm always teaching about. Because understand that your fruit is going to speak for itself. If you choose to operate at a level of integrity and you choose to show your good character, that's going to outweigh any negativity that somebody says. Because they can't change how you act, but you can change how you act. And so as I was saying earlier, like there are moments and times where you may need to set up a healthy boundary where if you're feeling like you're about to get emotional about something, meaning you about to get really upset and angry about something and possibly lash out at somebody, take a pause, take a moment, compose yourself, go away to a bathroom somewhere, or just go for a walk somewhere. Do whatever you can to remove yourself from the situation. And if it's unlikely for whatever reason that you cannot remove yourself from the situation, and one thing that I can say that I've done, and this is only if you can do it, so I'll give you at least two things. Number one, depending on what situation I was in, if I had my headphones next to me, I put on some music that soothes me. Now, for me, that's Christian gospel contemporary music. But for you, if it's something positive, not, something that's going to make you think something else, but put on something that's positive, that's going to make you feel love and feel calm and feel at ease. Another go-to for me, if it's not Christian contemporary music, it's jazz or classical music. As you guys have probably heard several times in the background of this podcast. And so, yeah, like I would listen to that just to clear my mind. And sometimes I may need to work through the emotions silently in my mind. And for me, because of my peace is more important than anybody else, I've had moments where people are like, I'm talking to you. I know. I can hear you. And granted, I can hear their words, but not really paying attention to what they're saying because I got to calm down for me. Because I got 2 seconds, I'm about to spaz on you, okay? So I got to calm down for me. So if you can, do like I've done, put some music in your ears, take a couple deep breaths in, and say a silent prayer while you do that, because I've done that. And then if you can't, if it's for some reason you cannot, whether you're like in front of somebody directly where you can't just put some earphones in your ear or whatnot, then it's okay to be quiet for a moment. Just because somebody asks you something don't mean you got to immediately speak. That's their impatience. It ain't got to be yours. Take a few deep breaths in and out. And while you're taking those few deep breaths in and out, it may seem like a long pause for them, but it's what you need. And then I'm going to also throw in there, just because I know it works for me, say a prayer. And you don't got to go all deep in your prayer. You could be, God, help me in this moment. Give me your peace, because I'm about 2 seconds ready to cuss this person out, or to let this person have it, or to come over this table and smack them smooth across their face. Okay? You can be honest with God, because he could take it. In those moments of deep breath in and out where people looking at you like you crazy because you're not, responding to their impatientness of wanting a response, you are giving them a response. You're choosing not to respond. That means not to go back and forth with them. Because again, as I said before, it's not personal, it's spiritual. There's a spiritual situation in them that wants to project or transfer onto you. There's a demonic entity sometimes in them that is trying to project that negativity onto you. It's baiting you into a fight. You ain't got time for that, especially not in this season, because you know what you've been working on. You know what your dreams and your goals and aspirations are. You know what your vision is. And so it's time to get focused and determined on that vision and moving forward towards that vision and that goal mark. And you don't have time to be stopped by anybody. So like I said, y'all, transform. No transfer. Not in this season. All right, y'all, got to get out of here. So may the Lord bless you and keep you, cause his face to shine upon you. May Lord God be gracious to you, show you his favor, and give you shalom, give his peace. Take care. Love you guys. Bye now.